Yo, what up, guys? Welcome to Binge Eater Podcast. Your boy, a man, me, the sauce boss. I'm here with Lynch, my little baby cousin, and we got a guest today, Joe Santagato.
Hey, thanks for having me.
AKA Brooklyn when I first met you. Right? I met you.
Queens.
We met
At that point, it was
I called you
Queens.
Queens.
Yeah. I was hyped, dude.
Did you know about that, Lynch? I met Joe at like maybe Playlist or VidCon. And just, it was good vibes, you know. We didn't like, no one was weird, right? I didn't do anything weird.
No. And honestly, like, that was like, it was nice for me because at that point, like, you were such a fucking giant YouTube star. And like, I was like doing my thing, but not like that. Like, so, I forgot why. I think I introduced myself to you like early on, and I just said like my name. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Queens. I don't know why that's what I led with. Like, I'm Spider-Man. I'm like, yeah, I'm from Queens. So, but then later on, I just those things used to make me so uncomfortable because I never really like integrated myself in like the YouTube community.
Like a YouTube like gathering. They're weird.
Yeah, like I never really did those things, and like a lot of those kids kind of like weirded me out at the time. So I was just like, I'm not.
You sound like Lynch right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
like VidCon and stuff, and he's like, dude, this is weird. I'm like, we gotta follow them. It's almost 3 a.m. It's still early, dude. They said they have a suite at this hotel. You know that guy from Vine.
And I'm going to bed.
Yeah. So I just got hammered at these things, like, and also that trip, I got to the airport. And when I was walking out of the airport, a girl saw me and she goes, "Oh, whatever." And she like recognized me and she's like, "Do you want to ride to the hotel?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I got in the car, but I made her stop at a liquor store so I could get 2 bottles of like, whatever. I don't even know. And then I was like drunk. And then when I saw you and like, I forgot what happened. There was something and you were like far away and you just went, "Queens!" And I was just like, damn. This guy
I was probably destroyed too. These are like the dark times. By the dark times, it's funny. The dark times are like my channel's popping the most. And I'm like wasted, like probably, going through 2 litigations. I'm like hammered. I'm like, Queens, bro. My only shining beacon of chillness in everything going on, you know? But it's funny you shared a story a while back because you like, where do you start? My first exposure to you, like that I really got your videos for me, was years ago on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Like you were popping on Facebook, like early, not even like the days when people started this is like, I'm saying it could be like 8 years. Is 8 years ago sound about right? 2015.
Yeah.
Like,
long early time on. Ago. I was working at this company and they were like, it was called Elite Daily, and they were like huge on Facebook. They had like a good following or whatever. And I was working as like an editor and producer there. And I eventually ended up quitting, but I was like learning from them about how to do whatever. And I think they always knew I wasn't going to like stay there and do this forever. I was like, I'm barely an editor here. Like I'm not like fully qualified to be an actual editor here. I'm not. So like eventually I quit and I was like, I'm going to take the stuff that I learned. And one of the things was that uploading video to Facebook at that time played really well into the algorithm because Facebook was trying to compete with YouTube. So if you like organically uploaded something, they would just throw it at the top.
They loved it. They blasted that.
I remember the day they cut.
So I had a Facebook page where I would put out the link on one day because I would post on Tuesdays, and then on Wednesday I would just I would have the whole video file, and then I would put youtube.com/Joe Santagato in the corner, and then I would upload that to Facebook. So that if it got shared and shit, and then eventually one of my videos went like super fucking viral, and like the it says youtube.com/Joe Santagato, and it's my page also, and then the likes were rolling in on that page, and like eventually got to like 4.5 million, and it was like active as it was crazy.
Were you making vines?
I was.
Were you a viner? Look at me. Be honest. Were you a viner?
Yeah.
No, you were, right?
Actually,
no, you were.
I wasn't though. I wasn't.
But I thought
I probably was in this. But like I wish I was though, because I treated that as like, bro, YouTube is the thing. Like this is just like we're just playing around here, and then you hear like Logan Paul or something makes a $40,000 for making a 6-second vine for Pepsi, and I was like, I'm a fucking idiot. What am I doing? Like I should have been paying more attention.
Vines Vines on the side, like randomly, and somehow like through deals, my Vine ended up being more fruitful for me than YouTube one year. And I was like, that was crazy. So then when Snapchat came around, I was like, I mean, the videos disappear. Should I still commit to it? But then we had a brand deal where they were like, yeah, this. And it was funny because it's like, okay, we did this sponsored piece of content that's gone in 24 hours.
So weird.
And they paid for it as if it was like some YouTube thing that would be up forever. It's just
I remember
bizarre.
when they sent
just
Logan Paul
bizarre
down
space.
to Montreal, actually, in the Vine days.
Oh yeah,
we were doing a
delivered
brand
us
deal, and they were
Logan
like,
Paul.
actually, we need Logan to pop in to do a little
Yeah,
segment.
they shipped like us like bricks of Velveeta,
So many
cheese
bricks.
and a Logan Paul,
And Logan Paul, yeah.
and like and Logan Paul physically
in Montreal,
came
Canada.
too,
Yeah.
with bricks of cheese, and we did a branded thing together. But I brought up how you were like just how you started and all that, because I remember hanging out with you once in New York, and you told me how you were on set with these other influencers or creators, and they're on set, and you're like, yeah, you know, you're shooting. They're like, oh, it's you, Joe Santagato. What's up? And you're like, yeah. And then you were like, all right, pictures up. And then you sat in that little foldy director chair, and they were like, what the fuck, bro? I thought you were like, and you were like, yeah, I'm this is a paid gig out here, getting paid.
Yeah.
To, you know, get on your fucking mark.
Yeah, I was. That's when I was working for that company, Elite Daily. I was like, that was in LA that happened, and I was like, all right, yeah, like, you know, you ready to? And he's like, what the fuck? Why are you working? I was like, this is my job. Like, I have a day job.
Yeah. You're like,
I was like, I have a day job too.
You're like, get on your mark. This is work.
I was like, yeah, I go home and make videos. I was like, I put out videos once a week, and I do a podcast, but I have a day job too. Like,
What kind of video, like
working?
Isn't Elite Daily like their demographic more on the female side, or was it?
I mean, so back in the day when this was, I want to say 2015 or something like that, but they literally had like 50% of the millennial audience. So like everyone, especially in New York, like everyone knew what Elite Daily was, and it was more so like blogs. So like you would go on the site and like read shit that like
Lynch,
someone your age wrote about.
And what did you mean, like
Well, I was curious what kind of content he was producing. I was just curious what kind of content he was producing. Like, was he producing like?
Dude, I don't think you know. I don't think you know.
Tell me. Tell me. I'd love to know.
I would match girls on dating apps and stuff, and they would go browse them, and they'd be like, you know, Joe Santagato.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, I love that.
He was that guy.
Bro, I used to send him the texts all the time of these girls being like, "Oh my god, you know Joe," and I'd always be like, "What, my boy, Joey? Why you want to talk to him? You want to talk? Okay, how about tomorrow after dinner? What are you doing tomorrow? Are you free? Maybe we go for dinner, hang out at your place. We give Joe a call." Like,
he's like, you're Jay-Z.
I may have taken a pic, that may have been like my second picture on my dating apps. Like the one picture I have with Joe, I'm like, oh, Joey.
Yeah, he's like your Jay-Z.
Seriously, there's something.
That's what agents do.
There's something.
With players.
There's something sweet about him, and I don't get it too, because like I watch him, like, yeah, obviously he's a good looking guy, but there's something inviting about you that must be there. But also like you can make someone feel safe. They're like, oh, I love Joe. But you're also sitting up there in your videos and you're like, big fat titties, fat ass tits, big old knockers and boobies. And I'm like, this guy's talking about tits like 15% of every video he's ever made. And every girl's like, I love Joe. He's so sweet. And it's like, but what's so sweet about him?
Yeah. It's like, what? I feel like that's not really lining up. But yeah, I mean, the company actually, I feel like back in the day, they got a lot of heat for people thought it was like misogynistic. You know, it's like the same way that people sort of looked at Barstool, different types of content, but like how everyone's like, oh, Barstool's like super misogynistic and blah, blah, blah. Like people would say the same thing about Elite Daily for some reason. But you know, it was fun.
And you're like, dude, I'm not even trying.
Yeah, I mean,
trying yet. Like, trust me.
I was like a junior editor on the video team. That when we started the video team, it was just me, one dude, and then 2 camera guys. And then eventually, like, that grew into like a team, I think, of like 30 by the time I left. So I like learned a lot there, but we weren't like, you know, it wasn't anything too crazy. I mean, I like, they like kept my duties. Like I wasn't editing like fucking cinematic things. Like we did like talking head type of shit, and that was like the series that I was doing. So I was getting like a bunch of New York City comedians together, and then it was kind of like Guy Code, like very similar to Guy Code.
Okay.
So we just did that, but more internet version.
You have interactions with people that I mean, this is a silly question, but you have interactions with people that don't know you and meet you, right?
Yeah.
Like that's something you meet, obviously, and they're like, oh, what do you do?
Yeah.
What do you say to that? Because for what's funny, the way I see you is, so you're a guy that was working as an editor, as you said, like a real job in the space. Yeah. And then you get a lot of popularity, like being some guy that stands there and talks on a microphone. I know the work of it, but like that's to most people, you're just like a guy there. And then you end up, you're like a young white dude on a podcast. So it's like, you're not on paper, you're not special. You're like our colleagues are complete morons when you look at the grand scope of our space, really. So I'm just curious what you say when someone's like, what do you do?
Usually I tell them that I'm like an entertainer and entrepreneur, because there are like products and shit that we do, but like entertainer feels more like
so wait, hold on. Let me play a guessing game. I don't want to interrupt, but let me play a guessing game. Rooftop in New York. Someone's like, what do you do? If everyone's holding fancy glasses and they got suits, you're like, well, I actually have a couple SKUs in Walmart of my everything bagel sauce. We're working on blowing up, expanding the line into some new things. But when you're at the club and someone's like, what do you do? You're like, me? I'm popping online, dog. What do you mean?
I never say so that
I'm a funny chill influencer.
I never say that. Like I've never told anyone like, oh, I'm a YouTuber or I'm an influencer, because I don't feel like that. Like I know that's happening, but I don't feel like that, because
I feel
it's
the
like
same.
It's like there's a bunch of other stuff that, kind of goes on behind the thing. Like you said, like, we're doing the hot sauce thing, and there was like some games that we've created over the years. And like, there's a lot of different video content that kind of we do like, week to week. And I have like a team of editors and shit now that like I'm working with. And it's just funny to be like, because now I don't know how to explain that, because that's not even like a job. Like,
because if someone
for that,
because it's I have the same problem, because I'm like, I'm a YouTuber, bro. You're 40. Shut up. Like, yeah, right. I think about it like if you were to be like, oh, me, yeah, I produce content, I'm an entrepreneur, and it's like, oh, what do you do? Oh, what type of content? What is? Oh, so a podcast. I was gonna say, oh, so you're a YouTuber. Like if they broke it down enough, unfortunately, like that's where you end up.
You could get to that, yeah.
Even if they're being ignorant, there's a lot to the job, there's a lot to it for sure. But they're gonna break it down and they're gonna be like, oh, it's a fucking.
What makes you cringe more, if someone calls you a YouTuber or influencer?
Influencer.
At this point, YouTuber would be probably pretty. I mean, YouTuber was the bad one. I think influencer is the bad one now.
I think so, yeah.
Like
influencers always bothered me. I feel like that's my personal baggage.
I'm Jewish. That's your trauma.
There's a trope of like the manipulative, persuasive Jew. I don't want to be like, that's my thing. So I think influencer is like, bro, I'm not influencing anyone, dude. If that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. Just because I told you, I just informed you of something. I didn't influence you. I'm just talking. I
also just think that like most of the people,
like, I don't give a fuck if you have a Ridge wallet. I don't care about this. I don't care if you use Raycon. I promise.
I think Raycons, wow. But I think that most of the people that say that they're influencers are like, they have like a little bit of a following, but it's not really like their job. So it just feels pretentious to say that I'm an influencer. You know what I mean? And even when I was doing YouTube, I was like, but I'm not doing what these people are doing. And like, why that has a negative connotation is like, the reason why I'm doing what I like, it's hard to like.
You're like, me and my brother aren't insulting each other in vlogs. We're not having sex with each other's girlfriends and making rap songs. I'm not doing that. Don't put me in that bucket.
That feels targeted, honestly, what you're saying right now.
Yeah, you see, when did you get your everything? It's everything bagel?
Everything bagel hot sauce, yeah.
Yo, what the fuck is that?
Sorry, I got my landline going here. Just let me mute my mic.
Damn, what year is it, dude? Just transform me back to 2001. Someone's calling your house like the towers got hit.
I'll let you go analog, man. What can I say?
Oh man, it's crazy. My YouTube recommended feed, a lot of Bin Laden.
Did it?
Like what?
It happens. It happens.
You get a lot of Bin Laden on your recommended
Well,
feed?
like around 9/11, I just think they're like, you probably want to watch the video and like relive this. You know what I mean? Like, remember 4th grade? Like, this is exactly what it was like.
That where you tell me where you were when the towers were hit. Hey, for said 4th grade, I had a very different experience.
Yeah, I was in 4th grade, and I mean, it was obviously early in the morning. I remember it was this girl Presley's birthday, and she brought in cupcakes. And long story short, with that bitch started crying, and I was like, it's kind of selfish of you to cry. There's a lot more going on than your fucking.
That's what it was about. She was so mad that the towers took her thunder.
Literally,
it was crazy to her.
Yeah, but I remember we're sitting in class, and like our teacher was like friends with the teachers across the hall, and she came in, and they looked like very concerned, and she like walked out, and I was like, the fuck was that? And then they just kept doing that, and then the funny part is we after they like sent us, you know, usually at that age you do every single class in the same classroom, but we had a science class they would go to, and we went there, and it was this dude, and his name was Mr. Nasinovich, and he the phone kept ringing. So because kids were getting called out because their parents were coming to pick them up because everyone didn't know what the fuck was going on. So it's just like, get your kids out of school. So
you're in New York here?
What was going on?
Is this New York?
In New York, yeah.
Oh shit.
So you can see the towers. Like you could probably see the smoke from where we were, but you like they're calling because a lot of kids are getting called out of class, but we think it's funny because we don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, it's also low-key sad because it's like choosing teammates in dodgeball, like whose parents care the least if they're part of a terrorist attack.
Yeah, bro, like
you're like the last three.
Last
you're like,
pick,
my mom didn't call. My mom didn't. She's probably.
It's like, no, it's chill. I know there's a terrorist attack going on, but like, stay. And then the guy, like, the phone rang again, and we laughed, and he just got fed up, and he just put his hand over the phone and just turned around. And he goes, "You're laughing, and there's people dying out there." And we were all like, "What the fuck happened?"
You're like,
and that's when it hit us, like, "Yo, something bad's going on." Like, and I was in 4th fucking grade, and I didn't even know what the fuck the World Trade Center was.
He dropped the ball there.
Yeah,
he dropped the ball. Like,
I mean, dude, he scared the shit out of us.
Like. Yeah, I would have never been like, there's people dying out there. Like,
Scream
what would
that.
I have done? Because I'm like, you know, I was a teacher before. My training didn't really consider how to break it down to 4th graders in the event of a terrorist attack.
Him either.
So I don't know what I would do. Like, am I taking out the blocks? Am I taking out the blocks and doing like? I'm on the chalkboard, or am I like, guys, come sit down? Maybe that's how I'm starting up. Guys, come up here. Everyone, come sit down.
Yeah,
you know?
And just kind of have to explain what's going on, I guess. But I remember I got picked up by my co-host now, Frank. His mom picked us up because our sisters went to school together in a different school. So she picked them up, then picked us up. I remember being in the car, and his little brothers, and they were so scared, and they were like, "Oh my God, like we should go to Uncle George's house because he has like his basement is below ground, so it's safe." And I remember Frank's sister turning around to all of us in the car, by the way, her mom's driving, and she turned around, she goes, "It doesn't matter. Nowhere is safe right now. We're not safe anywhere." And I was like,
"Oh my God, you're like
I'm scared."
You're like 7, like that you could see fire.
Like,
you're going home, you see fire, like you're like you see it.
Yeah. And my dad just retired in 1998, so I didn't know if like I don't know, like I barely, like you're 4th grade, you barely know what your dad does, but I knew he was a fireman, so I was like, is he?
Oh, he
dead?
was.
Like this. Yeah, but he wasn't until he retired in 98. So like,
no, but just in your brain, your grade 4 brain, like you keep, you know.
Yeah, I'm like all the
like,
fire.
You were an idiot. You were an idiot.
Yeah,
yeah exactly. I remember I was in the 10th grade, and I went to the bathroom, and I took a long time because I don't give a shit. I'm fucking crazy like that. And when I got back to class, the teacher was there, and everyone was quiet, and I walked in, and she went, oh, it was him. He did it. That's why he left class. And I was like, okay, what are you talking about? And like I sat down, and then she started to explain how a tower was hit, and then like it was the first tower was crazy for everyone, but like in Canada, it's like second tower, it's like, oh, what? Like how many planes are coming here? What's going on?
Wait.
Yeah, she made a weird joke. Yeah, she made a really weird joke.
He hit the tower.
She was
mad about that now.
Damn.
I came in, and I was like, what are you talking about? But the crazy thing is I started to hear about it, and I was much older than you. I'm like 15, and I'm like learning, like I'm hearing what's going on, and they're talking, and they let us leave school. We all, like, it's high school, we all get sent home. And I remember like going home being like, well, this is pretty fucking dramatic.
Yeah.
What's the big deal? Dude. Like, I was like, that's crazy. But my brain, just growing up watching movies, playing video games, it's not like I ever was going to shoot any. I didn't have violent tendencies, but I was definitely desensitized. So like, I remember being like, oh, is this like the Oklahoma City bombing? Like, that's the first thing that's popping in my head. Or like, it's the only other time where I remember there was a big explosion in a building, but the energy was so much crazier for this. And I didn't get that. I didn't understand what was up. And I literally, for like 2 years, I was like, yeah, that's fucked up. That was a fucked up thing. But when my age, when I got it, I was like, okay, day off school, that's chill. Like, I didn't think, and like by like 3 days later, like it's on TV, and I'm like, okay, we get it. But I didn't understand. Yeah. I just didn't grasp what that meant. You know what I mean? You don't have like full context of everything. You're not really grasping what the hell just happened.
I feel like your teacher was like at that point over your shit. I can only imagine the jokes you were probably cracking in class and fucking around.
Bro,
like, fuck this
that
guy.
joke is fucking crazy though.
It is crazy.
It was really bizarre. It's really, thinking back, it's really bizarre for her personality that I've settled on the fact that she was tripping and this was her music just deflecting. Yeah, she was, because it was really bizarre. Like, and I didn't get it. I came in, I was like, what are you talking about? She was like, planes flew into the towers, and I'm like, I understand less now. Like, I
what
understand
are the towers?
less. What are you talking? Yeah, everything.
I didn't even know what the World Trade Center was at that point. I was just like, what's going on? But the coverage
you were grade 4. I was
intense.
grade 10, and I didn't know what it was either.
Yeah, that's fair. But I remember the coverage of it was like pretty intense, and like I knew that it was serious. Like that day, I was scared mostly because my mom was very scared. And then when my dad got home, like he was like worried, like he just retired, like a bunch of his friends died. Like the next day he was on the phone calling all these firehouses and finding out like all these people that I know are dead. And that was like the first time that I saw my dad cry. So it's like, it was such a huge part of like my life kind of because of that reason. Like if that wasn't the case, then I probably wouldn't have felt the severity of it like immediately. But I mean, we're from right outside of Manhattan. So like everyone, like knows somebody or like, know, it's like everyone was like impacted, kind of affected, in some way in that day.
Certainly, but it felt like one of the most collective, felt like the first collective moment of like outside of the Canadian borders where it's like you feel something happening outside of your country and like we're all impacted. Like they're sending kids home from school in Canada. Do you know what I mean? Like we're sitting there being like, this is the first time or at least in my life, I'm like, oh, this is like a global event that we're all being impacted by,
not to make it all about not to make it all about, but is that the weirdest thing in your life? Was that the weirdest
that's ever happened to me?
Yeah, like, or was like the internet existing weirder, or was like getting recognized in public weirder, or was that or it's COVID being like it's stuck in your house for 2 years? Was that weirder? Like you have a weird life now, right?
Yeah, like easily the COVID thing is like strange, and like you just said, it was that was actually almost, this is gonna sound fucked up, but it was almost a part of it, like a silver lining was like, it is a little bit cool that it feels like the entire world is going through the same thing and doing the same shit. Because like otherwise, like I don't know what's going on in fucking Italy or like whatever the fuck. But it's like we're all kind of staying inside. We're all
you're like they're watching Tiger King and playing Animal Crossing. I know exactly what the fuck they're doing in Italy.
Exactly, right, like that. I was like, that is whatever. And I remember thinking too, like it was like kind of like when we're coming out of COVID, like with no one's really wearing masks anymore in New York, and it's like. I was very aware of like, we're going to look back on this. Like, what the fuck was that, dude? Like, that's a crazy thing that we just lived through. So like that is definitely weird. I mean, getting recognized in public, it was funny. That's the way you framed that question. The way you framed that question was very funny. It was like, so 9/11 or getting recognized? And I'm like, dude, definitely getting recognized was so much weirder than 9/11, dude.
They're both very surreal moments in your life, of course.
Both. I hold them in the same regard, yeah, for sure. That part was very strange at the beginning. Like I had crazy social anxiety, like not as like a person. Like I'm very friendly. I had a bunch of friends all the time, but like that freaked me out because I don't know if it's like I don't know if everyone has the same upbringing as me, but like I guess growing up where I did, like if people are staring at you, it's like something bad is about to happen. So it freaked me out when people would recognize me and then they're looking at me, because at this point I'm not like a famous person or I'm not like anything really big. It's just that no one was doing this at the time. It's like 2012. And like I'm starting to get some sort of recognition. We're talking about like, 30,000 followers on some sort of platform. It was like a lot because no one did this. And like, so when people saw you, they're like, this person isn't a real celebrity, but I know who they are, but not enough to talk to them or like go up to them. So they just kind of look at you and you could feel them looking at you. And it's like, it freaked me out because I'm like, I feel like someone's going to just fucking hit me or something.
Yeah.
So I was very on guard. I was like, I just didn't want to deal with that.
I had a lot of experience of people just looking at me weird because I look fucking weird. So even to this day, someone may look at me weird. And I'm like, well, I'm much larger than that person, and I'm wearing a Denzel Washington T-shirt, and I'm like just like a large person, and you know what I mean. So I'm always like, maybe it's that, but you get used to, or you don't get used to. I never got used to people coming up to me. I'm good in every single situation, but if a guy comes to me, he's like, yo, Sauce Boss, I love you, dude. I'm like, hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, dude. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you want a picture? You want a picture? Say you want a picture. Like, let's take a picture and then let's exit this, And I'm like it's never not been weird. And no matter where it happens, it's always been a weird thing. But I never assume a person just recognizes me when they look at me weird. Like, I don't go to a place and someone looks at me weird. I'm like, they saw the Bacon Show in 2014. I'm like, I am large and my jacket has like fur on like something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have a jacket. Yeah. That jacket doesn't exist.
You're wearing a fedora.
I said that. Yeah.
Sounds sick though. It's like, and I'm wearing assless chaps, like you're just getting weird looks. But yeah, no, it is strange. Honestly, I haven't in a while, years, over 6 years probably. In the last 6 years, I haven't had any like weird interactions. Like usually people are just kind of like, oh, hey, love yourself, whatever. And it's like kind of like, you go and that's kind of it. Like it's cool. What I hate though is when people are like, why do I know you? And it's like, what do you want me to do right now? Like list off some accolades and say, I was like, I don't know. And what I usually say is what is true is like, I look like a lot of people. I'm just look at me. Like I make the joke all the time. Like whenever I'm like any video game and you create a player, it's like you hit create and it's like, that's me. I guess.
We say that about him.
We could
all
be
the
brothers
time
because I am the starting.
We say
character.
that about him all the time.
That's it. Like
me too.
I trim my beard a little bit. I mean, we could,
default.
grow a little hair. You and I could be, we could be brothers.
Yeah,
exactly. That's
the
it.
Default character.
Literally,
people walk up to me all the time.
Yeah,
they're like, "Oh, I know you from somewhere." I'm like, "No, I don't know who you are. Sorry."
Are you people? Well, no, your last name's Santagato, but like with Lynch, people are always like, my native brother, my Aboriginal dude, or they're
Catch
like,
me with the right tan.
Hey, cabron. Like they don't know. Can I do that?
It's just factual. I have people go up to me and start speaking Spanish, and I'm like, "Nah, bro, sorry. Like, I don't understand. Apologies."
Yeah. Some people have told me I looked Puerto Rican, and I was just like, I don't know if you know to me.
Dude, I wish. I've said this so many times. I've always taken it as I don't mean to keep bashing Jews at all. Great people. I love my people. I'm happy.
You want to be Puerto Rican? Is that what you're about to say right now?
No, just when someone comes up to me and they're like, "Oh, yeah, you're Jewish." I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "You look Jewish." I'm like, "The fuck you mean?" But if someone came up to me and they're like, "Are you Puerto Rican?" I'd be like, "Shut up." Why do you think that? My ass is fat?
Yeah, right.
Like, I would like Puerto Rican's a good one. I would definally be welcoming to that. I don't.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
I feel like New York's a good place to be like
Anything that's
living
not
if
what-
people recognize you, because it's probably not the vibe to be walking up to you and taking pictures and stuff like that. If you're cruising around New York specifically,
Yeah, I just don't want people to be like, you look like you're from a country where everyone has pink skin and orange hair. Like, I don't like that. I don't like that. It's true though. Yeah. Like, Bubby Peggy.
Well,
Yeah, she is.
What is that?
That's my grandmother, Margaret.
That's your grandmother's name?
Yeah, Bubby Peggy.
Yeah. That's how you reference it. That's how we reference our grandparents.
Yeah, but she wasn't Jewish, but like she definitely rolled. She had like pink skin, orange hair. My dad's got pink skin.
She made a fire grilled cheese. That's for sure.
Yeah. Oh, she did.
Best grilled cheese.
Damn.
Yeah.
I feel like if your name's Bubby Peggy, then like it's like a prerequisite. You got to make a fire grilled cheese or something.
Yeah.
She
or you got to haunt a spooky house.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
If she's doing that right now, I hope she's holding it down. Love you, Bubby. Your everything bagels. Walmart. How did you get that in Walmart? What was your Walmart? I had something in Walmart once. R.I.P. But how'd you? How did that happen?
Yeah.
That's like a big deal. That's fucking cool. Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
thanks. I mean,
from people of Walmart to in Walmart on the shelf.
I know.
You in every door across America.
I mean, it started as like, just like an idea. Like my buddy Greg, who he's like my partner. He business partner, dude.
Yeah, man, I know what you mean. Nah, yeah, you're straight, bro. Of course you're straight. I always knew
right?
That. Yeah, man.
No, but I always knew that. No, but he like one day was like, it was like his idea. It's like, oh, it'd be cool if we made like a hot sauce or something. Because we were watching a UFC event and it was like Dustin Poirier was doing, the hot sauce, and he was like promoting it while he was fighting Conor and stuff.
Friend of the show, he sent us a whole bunch of his hot sauce.
Poirier, yeah, nice. So
yeah, he almost taught me how to box. Actually, we were
really.
He had a crazy schedule, yeah, but I did want to go spend a week with him to learn
Louisiana.
But I ended up getting my ass kicked. And Louisiana. Favorite cuisine in the U.S. by the way. Sorry to keep interrupting. I continue. Poirier hot sauce.
But yeah, so at that time, we were like, I was like, I mean, okay, like, all right, let's try and just like talk this out. And like, that's not really unusual. Like usually we kind of like throw these ideas out, and that's how like these one-off projects that we have kind of like come to fruition. But we looked into this, and this company is right in Brooklyn that had partnered with him and made that hot sauce. So we just emailed them. We like guessed what their email was and sent an email to the CEO. And we were like, hey,
put CEO at, what do you mean guess their email?
You put his name, because you put his name at the company.com. Like that was it. So like, we're like, it has to be that, or like his full name, or just his last name or something. Like, well, whatever. We sent like 3 of them, and like 2 of them got kicked back, and then one got through. So we're like, all right, cool. But he read our email.
That's
and he was
big,
like, yeah,
by the way. That's big.
What?
That's big that you did that.
I mean,
email. I've always crossed my mind, and I was like, nah, it's crazy. Guess someone. Would you start your email off by like looking at other people's names in the company, finding someone else, and being like, yeah, I got your email from blank, and choose another person at the company?
I don't think we ever brought it up, honestly. I think we just kind of just slid right past it. Just assume that we had it somehow.
Yeah.
But we sent him an email, and we were like, we have a background in this and that. Like I do this, and Greg actually worked at Elite Daily. He was like the head of content there, so he had like experience in that. And he had a book published years ago, so he's like a different side of what I'm doing. So when we combined, like we were trying to whatever. This is our whole pitch, and they were like, all right, cool, let's have a meeting. And we went there thinking it was going to be this like buttoned up business meeting, but it's like the dude, he's fucking awesome. He's the Heatness is the company that we work with. His name's Noah, and he just looked like a skateboarder dude. And he's like, you guys want some beers? And I was like, yes, like this is awesome. And then we just like had a cool meeting. They were like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And it's like from that meeting, like just meeting us, and like we had an idea. They wanted to see like what our sort of intentions were with this, and we're like, we're not trying to have like a money grab like the Joe Santagato sauce or anything like that. Like we're trying to like really have a product.
Shout out
like,
to Mom Spaghetti sauce. Eminem has a spaghetti sauce he just dropped called
he does
spaghetti.
it.
Yeah, that's a cash grab. Yeah, you got excited though. Look at you.
That is good though. Yeah, I mean it's a big song, so you gotta capitalize on that. But yeah, so we did it with them for a while. Yeah, we did
like
that
literally
for a
in
while.
that movie. Sorry, he pukes the sauce up. I actually just thought about that. He puked it up
in 8 Mile.
Yeah, the vomit on his sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, and now we're selling it, bro. He puked it up in the movie. I just thought about that. Sorry.
Yeah, like it's not really a big selling point. It sounds like this sauce sucks, dude. But But yeah, so we just were selling that for a while, and it was just doing, really well. Just kind of like direct to customer. We were selling a lot through the site, and we weren't on Amazon yet, but we were just like selling, a good amount. And then when like the hedonists, they have their partnerships with, these people. So they kind of were the bridge between Walmart and our sauce. So they kind of like pitched our sauce, because I felt like we had to prove to the hedonists that the sauce is going to sell, which it ended up, selling. And then they went to Walmart and pitched them on like our sauce, like Dustin's sauce, and like some of their Hot Ones sauces, because they curate the sauces for Hot Ones, and they also like make their own ones for them. So like they were like, okay, cool. So that's how it got on the shelves. And now, it's doing well. It's coming off the shelves. And just...
Have you gone?
Are you in every Walmart in America, or like every door in America, or
no
specific?
No, we're not.
areas?
So I don't know how many fucking locations they have.
I think it's 4,000. I think is what they have.
Yeah, like 4,000 something.
Yeah. So the first go around, to my knowledge right now, like the first go around is, it's in 350 stores, mostly East Coast right now. And then the next time that they like a next order or next, like, whatever, when you're like pitching sauces, when people are pitching sauces to Walmart or whatever, if it does well, then they say like, okay, we'll put it in like 1,500 or 1,000 stores, and we'll buy, more of it or whatever. So it's like the trial.
Did you go down to Arkansas, or you let those guys handle it? Like you didn't have to go pitch directly to the buyers yourself, or were you?
No, I didn't do anything. Well, that's not part of it.
Well, no, I went for our
jerky.
Pizza in a bag, pepperoni jerky. I went to Arkansas with the guys, and it was so bizarre because you get into the front of Walmart, like headquarters, and in the lobby it felt like final project day at school, because there was groups of people in 3 or 4 or 5, and they have like a Bristol board with them with like pictures on it. Some people have manuals and they're holding cue cards and talking to each other, like everyone was about to present a project. And then they came and, collected us group by group, and we would go into this tiny room, and you're there. And I was there with these guys we partnered with, and this company that just knows exactly, like, who has plenty of products in Walmart.
Yeah, like a consulting firm.
And the guy, and the guy came in and sat down, and they let me lead by just being like, yeah, I got this channel and it's so sick. The views are totally like as high as they've ever been. We took and I was like hyping it up and talking about the jerky and like how we went for whatever. And then he was like, oh, I know who you are. I love the show. How's Moses' glasses? And I'm like, he's great. We're good, dude.
He's on the back burner right now, but he's good.
And then he was like, asked these like the consulting firm. He was like, blah blah blah, stupid numbers question thingy, and they were like 7, and he was like, And then he was like asked another question, and the guy here that he was like, yeah, we plan on that, and I'm there like, and then he was like, all right, let me taste it, and then he tasted it, and he was like, can I keep this bag? And we're like, that's all you, yeah. And he was like, it's good. They hit us back a couple days later, and if I could give a shout out to my demographic, if you saw him when he came in, I know people look at me weird, and I'm like, this guy probably just thinks I'm weird looking. This dude came in, and I was like, this guy fucking watches Epic Marathon. Like, I knew on sight this time. Like this time there was no question, he knew. And we were like lucky that they liked that the product was good. We were unlucky that it doesn't exist anymore, because you fucking idiots never bought my jerky. No, I'm kidding. It actually came to a place where Walmart was like, yeah, we, we'll buy 1.3 million bags. And this people we partnered up with, their company was fucked. So Walmart's looking at us and they're like, do you want to buy 1.3 million bags? And that's like basically like spending like $3 million.
I like the way he's doing better.
To make like $90K. But I like at any point Walmart could be like, yeah, you know that 1.3 million jerky we told you to, cancel that. We don't want it anymore. And now I have millions of dollars of jerky and the views aren't even good anymore. on the channel. So it's like, oh, I can't have this jerky on me.
Yeah. Big jerky took us down. We realized like 70% of the market's owned by like 2 companies in jerky.
But we heard from, because there's a lot of subterfuge and sabotage in the jerky industries. Apparently at one point, like there was a meeting called at Big Jerky, and our bag was slammed on the table, and they were like, "What the fuck is this?"
We can't have this another player in the space.
Yeah. I wish.
How did they just push you out? Are they just like?
There's a lot. I mean, we learned a lot on that, and I think the way you're doing it sounds like the right way, where you get into
we would have had to cover we would have had to pay for this next round of jerky, and we did like microwavable meals. Also, we don't have that type of cash flow. And the company that we were doing it with, them not existing anymore, because they were doing this with a lot of YouTubers. That kind of felt.
The thing about Walmart is, you can win and lose there. You can lose pretty bad there too. It's you got to price correctly, and everything's like, they can squeeze you on the margin quite a bit. And like something like jerky,
yeah, we couldn't come in with a big
people
risk,
do
like money.
Discern between the amount of jerky and the cost. Like we were talking about this the other day. Like I go to a grocery store, and if there's one thing I don't look at is prices. Other than recently, I've been noticing things happen, getting more expensive. But I don't sit around being like, oh, this is whatever. I look at it, I'm like, oh, I like this. I'm going to go buy it now and just eat it. And he's like,
yeah, but it's just millions of dollars. I'm talking about fucking millions of dollars. You're going to buy something for millions of dollars, even if you're going to sell it for millions of dollars. You crazy? Like, I even like looking at houses. I was looking at houses. I'm like, $1 million for a house? I'm not doing that. This is fucking crazy now. I'll give you $175,000. I'll give you $1 million. And they're like, it's not $1 million, it's $2 million. And you know what I mean? Like I can't $1 million. What am I, fucking YouTuber?
Yeah. No. Well, I think the thing is too, like with these kind of projects too, it's like, I mean, it sounds like you guys kind of like developed it with this company.
Yeah.
But then you were like paying to have it.
No. We had a.
Or you had to buy the units.
We had a partner,
or something like that.
We had a partner,
a factory that made the product
that we partnered with.
Yeah, and it was all handled with other.
So they handled all the.
Yeah, we didn't handle any like.
Yeah,
they did all the upfront investment. They secured the order
to inventory.
Yeah, we secured the order from Walmart, and we got in every door right away. I think there is 4,000 Walmart doors in Walmart, like from a few years ago, and so it was like immediately we were in. It was like obviously. We were very excited about that. That was great to get a product distributed.
And then they were like, then things happen fast sometimes. We're like, make a bigger bag. They're like, make another product. We make a bigger bag, make another product. And they're like, we don't want these things. And they're like, hey, make that one. And it's like, you're bouncing around. They're like, make a new jerky. And you do it. But Walmart just holds so much power. Mm-hmm. Like, and we got an inside look into it, because Lynch does, he does closer to like what sounds like your boy Greg does. So we got to have like an inside look into the inner workings of it all. But it's also just so much funny now, because when I see something, a decision, even if like Disney makes some marketing decision or whatever happens in life, all I think about is like 3, 4, 5, 6 people who are like in their 30s making these decisions, just like it was a group project at the front of Walmart. When I saw all these little groups, I'm like, it's just some people's lives, their work. It's just group.
There's also this element of being in a big box store like that, where it's like, we sold merchandise, you know what I mean? But selling a product and being in brick and mortar is like a different sort of animal. And there's this whole thing with Walmart where like, they don't merchandise your product for you. You got to pay companies to go in there and make sure your product. I saw Mr. Beast do the craziest thing. He mobilizes fans to go and fix how his product looked.
Worked against him though, but then they went.
And like that, but that's the thing. We weren't like, you do that and you partner with someone. You're like, oh, that could be $30,000 a month, and hiring people to go and just make sure your product looks good and it's actually stocked correctly by the people who are managing that area of Walmart's, which is
but his audience is Fortnite, Roblox, Among Us, and they went chocolate bars.
They fucked it up. Is that what happened?
They broke all the chocolate bars.
Among Us.
He thought.
I saw a very.
Yeah. The Walmart stuff is thankfully it's like kind of gone like smoothly. It's like we were able to like we're not covering the upfront costs for any of that shit either.
Yeah.
And also, did you guys do direct to customer before? You went straight.
No, we went straight into brick and mortar like right away. We had some direct to consumer. I was worried. We did have some of that, but it was not like the ideas we had. We
just had a lot of confidence what the product looked like on a shelf of jerky. that we thought people were going to be into it when they thought. So just getting it in there was just like, let's get in there. Once it's there and it looks away, then it'll be like, we had a standing one at 7-Elevens for a couple months. I remember like going into a couple 7-Elevens on a road trip and like looking for the standee of me with jerky and being like, where the fuck is it? And I'm like, the guy, I'm like, where's you guys don't have jerky? Like other jerky with like maybe a fucking thing. You guys don't have that. And I popped into a lot of 7-Elevens. It was like 1 out of 8. I got in there and I finally saw my thing. Pretended like I was filming something and didn't know it was in there. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm vlogging. Oh, what? Yo, I'm in here. I forgot I'm in 7-Eleven. That's so crazy. Forgot I was here. Yeah, business, I guess. Yes, I
put on your Tinder profile.
I guess I'm a genius, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pictures. I'm the second one, and the third one is him with him.
Yeah, exactly.
In a 7-Eleven.
No, it's me holding a big fish.
Yeah, I think it's like that's why like the D2C stuff is a little like I love doing that and seeing how much I could do by myself before we can partner, just so I know kind of like I don't want to like have a company like Walmart. You give them a product and it's like especially it being on YouTube and stuff. A lot of these motherfuckers stole money from a lot of different companies to be like, well, I have an audience, so like you should give me all of this up for like how many YouTubers like did like books about their lives or whatever the fuck. And like the way that industry works is they pay you up front. You just get that money no matter what. And then when you start selling the book, you have to get past that point and then you have the revenue split after that, after they get their money back. None of these people got their fucking money back because they're giving fucking, whoever YouTuber like $1 million, like $1.5 million.
We actually have, we're the first of YouTube books. And what was crazy was we went to go get a book done and we went around and shopped it around and it didn't happen. It just wasn't existing. And so we made our own book. We took pictures of food, we made a cookbook and we put it out ourselves and the views were much better at that time. And we sold our inventory of books and then went back to bookstores and we're like, you want some of this second book? And they were like, oh, not only do we want a book from you, we want a book from Toby Turner and we want a book from, and they're just like naming off all these other YouTubers. What they ended up making us do was they were like, no, we want your book, but do it better. So they gave us a whole bunch of money to go and release the same book, but for them. And then we released the same book. They gave us like the cash guarantee up front, but now the views aren't as good. And all the people that are still watching the show, they already bought this book. This just has a different cover. And they don't want to like collect at Big Mealtime Cookbooks. And it's just for months, we'd get like, they're like, oh, here's, a couple bucks that we made investing in your book. And we'd always look at that and be like, this could not be a profit for whichever book company it was.
That's just part of their industry though, is like making those calls and making sure you're, if you're bad at your job and it is what it is. And like, for me, I was always afraid of being like, I don't even know how much I could sell. I remember when I first was doing merch, I had like 300,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I was like, because you're an idiot. You don't know. I was like, bro, if I just get 1/10 of my audience to buy something, I'm paid. 1/10. Like
the best conversion in history. Like, you're like, oh.
Ever. Yeah, like ever. So it's like, but that's where my mind was. So you like learn along the way. So I always told myself if I'm going to do like products or whatever, and I never was really pushy about merch or anything like that. Because like, I don't think I'm good at it. Like, I don't think, like now we do merch and stuff because I don't do anything. It's like we have a designer to do stuff and whatever, but I'm not good at it. I don't want to like make people buy this thing that I'm not really like proud of or feel like I can't, do. So when it comes to these products, it's sort of the same thing where it's like, let's go, D2C and see how much we can do. And then we can go and be like, okay, we've sold, this, or we have experience in that. So now we can go and I'll feel comfortable going to a company and being like, okay, if you give me the money, like I want this to be equally, beneficial. I don't want anyone to feel like I just got by another.
I definitely
that's just good business
from the other angle with your well, that's like just really fair and careful approach to it. But like normal good business would be the other angle of it is if I had your views, I can't think of anyone that would give me the appropriate breakdown right off the bat without me demonstrating to them what I could do on my, because even like 1% of 200,000 plus, 300,000 plus views multiple times weekly. And then beyond that with your podcast and all that, anyone that would want to get in, it would be beneficial to them. I would be like, hold up, let me see what it looks like when I do it myself, just so I could leverage that actually. But then again, I'm fucking, I'm an influencer. I'm fucking,
Out here influencing.
I got a question. I got a big question for you.
Sure.
What's your favorite fast food?
Oh, my favorite fast food is maybe.
What was the last fast food?
Actually, maybe Popeyes, bro. Maybe Popeyes.
Yeah, that's a different one.
I don't do fast food that often, to be honest.
That's
like,
what I was curious about. If this was like you've had too much fast food lately, or you haven't had it in a long time to make some.
No, yeah, because I haven't had it in a while. But I do, like, my brother really likes Popeyes. So when I go to my mom's house, sometimes he's like, yo, we're getting Popeyes. Or you know what? Some like shit pizza, like Domino's or something. Like that.
Yeah, I like shit pizza a lot. I don't like when people talk to me about pizza like, oh, I know a good pizza. Because in my head, I'm like, what you think is very bad pizza, I love.
Yeah,
and I love great pizza too. I love great pizza.
Fuck take I've ever heard in my entire life.
No, I love great pizza. I love it as much as, sometimes maybe more than, sometimes maybe less than Domino's.
First of all, he's living in New York.
It really depends.
New York is like the epicenter of
I have
pizza.
The craziest
like, this is the biggest debate out here.
When I go to New York, no, I'll tell you something fucked up. When I go to New York,
you get Sparrow?
You're like, oh, I'm
get
Sparrow.
Yeah, okay, all right. You're a sicko.
Sparrow.
You're a sicko, honestly.
You just know I don't have that. I don't have that. Sparrow takes me back. It's 1992. I'm going to finish this and I'm going to go into the arcade. There's like more to it.
It's a nostalgia piece.
They've been doing it the same. They've been doing it the same way. It's like the same reason why maybe you want to eat like some poor meal you used to make, like your mom made you back in the hot dogs and SpaghettiOs or something. Like it's something that'll take you back. You'll time travel.
Like you think I'm gonna?
And so I hit that Sparrow.
Whip up some tuna and craft dinner and be like, I got a tuna casserole here at home with my ketchup.
I love that. But there's a place, Four Brothers, or is it Two Brothers Pizza? They're everywhere in New York.
I don't know. I've never been. I think it's two.
I like that one. I think it's.
So, are you eating like five-star restaurants only,
Yeah.
or are you cooking at home? Like, what's the?
Yeah,
I
you got a six-pack under that?
Yeah.
Are you fit right now?
I like going to nice restaurants.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of my favorite things, honestly. So I try to like, like I have two of my friends too that are like really into it, and so we'll go to like, I like, usually when I go out to a restaurant, like a nice restaurant, it's like if I see something and I have no idea what it is, like usually I'll be like, okay, I'll get that. Unless it's like a main thing that I'm like an appetizer. I'm like, I don't know.
You guys pull up in like the Uber Black and get out. You got white collared shirts tucked in, shiny dress pants. They say what's up. The hostess says what's up and smiles. She said, "Hi, Joe."
No, it's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. I mean, you have to like be a savage for these fucking reservations usually. Like, I'm not getting hooked up at too many places at all. So it's like you have to.
Let my mom call for you.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It'd be big. She'd be like, "My son's friend.
Yeah.
My son's friend is coming in tonight.
Oh shit.
He's an influencer."
Yeah. She'd secure it. She would definitely
on Facebook. On Facebook.
You ever seen that interview with Steph Curry, where Steph Curry, like, someone asked him, like, yo, you ever drop your name for like restaurants and stuff? And he's like, he like gets nervous about it, so he has to like say it slowly. He's like, yeah, this is Stephen Curry, and he's like, and then you just wait, and then it's like, on the Warriors. Like, you kind of like walk people there. So it's like, oh yeah, we got a table right here for you, But yeah, no, I've never done anything like that. Usually it's my friend that books the restaurants, and he like has alarms set because they come out at like 9 a.m. on this day for the next month, and you have to like try and grab one.
Yeah.
You end up eating dinner at 10 p.m.
A long time ago, I got a reservation booked. Like it was like a kind of friend. And he was like, oh, let's grab dinner. He was pushing it a lot. He was like, I know this place, we'll go there. And I was like, all right, fine. He's like, yeah, I'll make reservations for us. And then when I got to the restaurant with him, it was like me and my girlfriend at the time, two other friends and this guy, and the waiter came, and they were like, oh yeah, they brought us shots of Jack Daniels, which was, oh, that's cool. I guess he watched the show or something. And then he came up later, the waiter, and he gave me a script. And he was like, when you get a chance, read this.
Oh my God.
Which is funny because I'm like, oh, you want the bacon YouTube guy to read your script? Go, I read it.
Yeah, like,
it's cool. This character.
Like your James Cameron.
Yeah. So he gave, and then I was there and I was like, oh, can I ask you a question? I'm like, do you always have this script with you? Or like, did you bring it? He was like, no, when I knew you were coming in, I brought it. And then I was like, how'd you know I was coming in? And he was like, you called and you made reservations. And I was like, what do you mean I called and made reservations? What did I say? He was like, you just called and said that the sauce boss from Epic Mealtime was coming in. And I was like, I said that? I said, it's me, the sauce boss from Epic Mealtime. And he was like, well, you didn't say it like that. I was like, how'd I say it? He was like, well, you said it like it was a video. So this guy that was like friendly, that wanted me to go to dinner with him, called this restaurant and did an impression of the guy from Epic Mealtime. And was like, yo, better have that bacon ready for me, bitch. I'm pulling up. I'm the fucking sauce boss. And he, you know, like, and I just remember that happening. And that was early on. I was just like, oh, I never changed. I don't think people will tell you, oh yeah, Harley's different, man. Like I'm still smoking hash, playing way too many video games. But like I realized that some other people changed over the years. Like just something like this. This guy, it was so out of character and bizarre that he did that. But now I'm like, well, that's fucking weird.
And you were like thinking he was doing that for all his own reservations all the time? He's like calling in as you. Like, oh, shit.
And then he's like, yeah, Harley's, he's parking the car.
He'll be in soon. Oh, he couldn't make it.
He'll be in a sec. Yeah, just give it a second.
Yeah, what's your, do you put pineapple on pizza? Do you have like are you like a pizza order? Like our pizza, like pizza, is pizza like Italian food? What's like New York? Like what's your... What do you identify as first? Are you a New Yorker?
Yeah, I would say that. I feel like I have way more, like I'm talking about this, like not so long ago, but I was like, I feel like I have way more New York pride than I do like US pride, because like New York is so big, it feels like a country almost, you know, like it's like you can never get everything done or whatever. And like the idea of living in a small town and like, you know, everyone and whatever, it's like, you hear people say that, but like, I can't even imagine that. Every time I walk outside, I see someone I've never seen before. Like I rarely
You'll never see them again.
You know?
You'll never see them again.
It's like, that's the world that I live in. So it's like, I don't know. Like I love being from New York. I love it here, you know, more than
like, are you mad to go to LA or you're okay with that? You're like, do you feel uncomfortable?
I could never live there, but I did. I went a few times and I'm probably going to go like early. I haven't been there in 8 years or something like that.
They're going to scoop your bagel, bro.
That's true. Yeah.
Get your bagel scooped in a second.
No problem. 2 seconds. You ready? Boom. Scoop bagel. Gluten-free.
I'll raise hell. But I don't know. It's a very different thing out there. And like, I like what I do for my job and everything, but I don't really take it that seriously. Like I don't, I take the business side of it and the work that goes into it, like that I take seriously. But like, it's like I'm not fucking saving lives. I'm not an ER nurse or fucking,
hey, you're making people smile, bro.
Yeah, I know. But like, it's like, it's fine. No, but like, it's not like the reason I'm saying, like, I don't take it seriously. And I feel like out there, people are just like, they think they're just above people or that they deserve something for doing that. And it's like, I already get what I deserve for it. And maybe I'm overpaid and maybe I'm, whatever, but I put out a thing and then I get something back and that should be it. But I think those people walk around and they think that they deserve like the red carpet rolled out everywhere they go, or they deserve this, or people should treat them a certain way. And it's like, that shit I don't like. And that just feels like the culture out there.
People like you.
So I just like can't.
Do you produce content with your like boys that you grew up with? Like you mentioned, like your buddy picked you up who you do the podcast with. Like his mom picked you up, back in the day. Like a lot of people you surround yourself are still your friends from back in the day, or
yeah, like pretty much, like I'm still friends with like all the kids from the neighborhood. There was like a bunch of us. Like our group chat at one point was like fucking 15, 16 people. But we all met like through sports and stuff. Like we would just be at the park and like playing, and then we played in football leagues and whatever. Just boys being dudes,
bro. Sports, hot wings.
Yeah, I still have a group chat with like a bunch of them, like, and whatever, and like fantasy leagues and shit. So you still like see these kids around and stuff. And in the beginning, they were all in like the videos and shit like that. And I still have some of my friends come and be in videos. My brother is here now. He's like editing for me. Frank, I've known since fucking pre-K. And Greg, I met at Elite Daily, so he's like fairly new, but like I've known him for basically 10 years. So
yeah, they wouldn't accept you walking around
like
all Hollywood being like, dude, I need the red carpet right now. Like, come on, guys.
No,
I'm
and like
Joe.
one of my
Joe.
Yeah,
okay?
like one.
That's me.
One of my that's one of the reasons why whenever I talk about LA, I usually tell this story of like I was in LA working for that job.
Okay.
And
with Elite Daily,
I put out a video on YouTube that I was like very proud of, but I like uploaded while I was out there. And then when I got to set, like there were a couple of people being like, yo, that video was really funny, like good job or whatever. And then like the next day I flew home to New York and I'm in the gym with my friend and he's like, yo, that video you put out the other day? I was like, yeah. And he was like, yo, honestly, the worst fucking video you've ever done. And I was like,
that's a real one. I like it.
No, but
I enjoyed that.
That's a real one. Right?
No, I always got that too. Back home, something I always enjoyed is that like I lived in LA for a couple of years. I get back and people are just like, oh yeah, people like that one? That's interesting. It's interesting that people like it. I just, for me, I think that you could do better than that. And you're not that.
Like you needed more bacon on that burger.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Like, because I was going to say I had that thing even that you were saying YouTubers think they need the red carpet rolled out for them. I didn't have that, but I definitely had a little bit of, oh, I have 1 million views. So I'm going to be an author and I'm going to do a rap song. People just love whatever I'm doing. And so I definitely had a bunch of that. And then I'd go home. People were like, book sucks, rap song sucks. Hey, you look like you're fatter now. You look like you're fatter now.
Book sucks, rap song sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fat. And it's nice too because it's not like they're not supportive. They just don't care. Yeah. Like, which is a nice middle ground because I don't feel like they don't support me. Because like in the moments where you do something cool, they're like, dude, like, congrats, that's cool. But like the day to day and like even month to month, it's like no one gives a. It's like. Whatever, my friends are like,
I went to school with you.
Is anybody free? Is anyone free to go to dinner on this day? Like, oh, you know, Joey's free. He's got a fake job, so like, like you know, hey, like.
I have friends that are still like they're like, I don't get it. I don't. Get it. And whenever those memes that come up that it's like that one friend at 2 p.m. in the group chat, or wow, the group chat's real quiet today. It's Tuesday at 2 p.m. Everyone's at work.
Yeah, exactly.
You like New York bagels? They got the best bagels in the world.
Yeah, I think so.
Have you had a Montreal bagel before?
I've never been to Montreal.
Have you been to Canada?
I think you should. By the way, you come here, I got a place for you. I got a place.
Yeah, Montreal.
You got a Rhea app? You got a Rhea profile?
No, I do not.
Why not? A guy like you fucking a guy like you?
No.
Come on.
I don't have that. But you think hold on, but just to back up a little bit, the Montreal bagel thing, you think they have the best bagels?
You never heard that before?
Yeah, can't dispute it.
No.
Oh,
yeah. It's something that like you like if I lived in New York and I ate bagels in New York my whole life and anyone in the world said anything about a bagel, I'd be like, what are you talking about? What city? What country? Dude, New York City bagels. Like I never even heard that. But no, Montreal bagels are they have a big hole. They're much more dense. Yeah. They're not a big fat bagel. They have like a bigger hole in it, like done by hand. And it's got like sweet water used in it, a little bit of honey. They're actually incredible bagels. But I would never sit here and tell someone who has New York bagels that, you know, these bagels are better without having one as proof. But I personally also, to the chagrin of my fellow Montrealers, I'm like, there are times where I would rather a New York bagel. There are times where I don't want to have a big hole. What are you talking I don't want to have context? A big, like I'm in a rush and I have cream cheese and lox, and it's going to be much easier to slap cream cheese on here and lox and not worry about it all having that middle section. Okay. Even from an efficiency standpoint. I also I got a lot of hot takes, by the way. I like LA bagels a lot. I think Los Angeles is great bagels, but they got to try hard. Los Angeles bagels do things like they have a challah bagel, or they'll have like the most flavors. They're doing the most, like trying to just get your attention, you know, because LA does donuts. So it's, bro, how the fuck
Yeah.
you run donuts, but you can't do bagels?
You mean LA does
Like,
donuts? Doesn't everywhere do donuts? Isn't that like
no, LA like donuts is like a
that's
thing.
their thing? I've never heard of that in my life. You're saying LA, their thing is making donuts?
Yeah. Well, not
I
making.
fucking love donuts too. I think I like donuts more than I like bagels.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See, that's crazy.
What kind of donut are we
think
talking
so.
here? Like, what's your go-to?
I don't even know, bro. I mean, there's a
You like
place
that
over here.
frosting.
Apple fritters. I like an apple
Yeah,
fritter.
well-
I'm down with that.
You like a jelly?
really-
filled, eh, you dog.
I do like that. Also, the
Yeah.
Boston cream, dude.
Oh, you're a bad boy.
Yeah, I'm gay for that cream. Those Boston creams are good. But there's a place over here that makes like a peanut butter and jelly donut. The shit is bananas. It's like
I
it's
like
got,
peanut butter and jelly a
nuts
lot.
on it or something. It's so
That sounds
good.
delicious.
Like the jelly in it.
I do peanut
There's
butter
another
and jelly
place-
ice cream a lot lately. That's been my thing.
Ooh.
Like it's like the jelly
butter and
is
jelly,
in
bro.
the ice is in the ice cream.
Undisputed
Peanut butter.
champ
yeah.
right there. It's,
Peanut butter and jelly and like pizza are like so simple, but they're like incredible
Yeah.
things.
Fucking
Like,
white
that will
people.
last
shit, bro.
forever.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just another thing. Just another
That's white.
thing.
Peanut butter and
Yeah.
jelly's got to be white cuisine, right? Like that's the one thing you can be
100%.
like, white
Yeah,
people.
that's white third grader type of shit. for
yeah.
sure.
You were eating
Yeah.
one when the
When the towers got exactly.
Yeah,
Just to bring
when
it
the
full
second-
circle, I was eating one. But they used to serve those at lunchtime. It would just come in plastic. You would open it like it was a bag of chips, but there would be a fucking peanut butter and jelly in there.
What kind of liquids you drinking like in a day? What's like liquids go into your body? Like a Monster? You ever have a Monster?
No, I know. I can only stomach like 100 milligrams of caffeine, and all of those drinks are like 200 or whatever the fuck. Like I never drink a full Celsius can, like
Yeah.
because
What happens?
it's just like too
Just-
much for me. Even like I just get mad jittery. Like the cold,
You
like
turn into
even
the Hulk,
cold brew.
really.
Cold brew is like crazy to me. Cold brew is like I'm taking fucking pre-workout
Yeah.
like C4.
What,
I'm like
you're not a gamer? You don't play video games?
it's like
Game all
yeah,
night,
right?
dog.
I gotta be up all night. I'm fucking jittery, dude. But I like don't like that feeling. So I mean, even like back in the day, when I was younger, I wouldn't really take pre-workout because I didn't like the feeling of like, being so
Yeah.
jittery and then trying to work out. I'm like, I feel like my hands are moving like crazy.
sensitive
Back in the
to
day,
my
though,
forehead
that pre-workout
gets
hit
itchy.
different,
Yeah.
though, back in the day. I feel
Yeah,
like...
my forehead and ears would
Yeah.
get
It
itchy.
was illegal.
Yeah,
They were
whatever the
putting, like,
Ingredients
fucking
in there that
crack
don't
in it.
fly.
You like
today.
buy that store, you don't realize it's being
All the
made in
name-
a basement. They're like, oh, it's in a bathtub.
Yeah, it's like-
putting it all together.
No explode, C4, TNT, dynamite.
Yeah.
I drank a pre-workout. It was called Assault.
yeah,
Literally
yeah.
called- I
That's
was like-
assault. Assault on your sensibility.
Literally.
But what
I was
kind
like,
of
I
liquids you
can't
put in your
move.
mouth? You drinking 4 liters of water in a day, or you like a
I
Diet
am-
Coke?
I'm so bad with like water. Not that I'm so bad with it, but like I like won't drink water for hours because I'll like be here and shit. But like then when I get home, I'll just start fucking pounding it because I'm like, I know I should have had more water today.
Yeah, dude,
But I
catching
don't
up.
even know if that's like
No.
That's like
good
my Yorkie.
or
He doesn't
whatever.
drink water, and then he'll wake me up at 3 a.m. and I'll bring him
It's just-
downstairs. He just starts drinking a lot. But
Yeah,
so what?
exactly.
You get sodas? You like a juice in the morning? Smoothie? You get a protein
Uh,
shake? Tell me everything you drink.
Okay. I usually do
Why I get the feeling you're about to lie to me right now?
no.
Why don't
It's
you
like
want, I don't.
I-
it's a lot of thinking. Why don't you?
He's
just
thinking
know
about
what
his
you
drink
drank today?
schedule. Like, what's your daily drink
It's
schedule?
crazy
We gotta
though.
know.
It's like he doesn't drink coffee. He
It's
doesn't-
not
that's
that
true.
exciting.
He's
It's not
eliminated a lot of
glamorous,
things
bro.
so far. I gotta say, you have eliminated a lot of stuff.
Sorry, my curiosity is like.
No, I don't really drink soda like that though. Like I or
So
diet
you
soda.
drink nothing all day, then you go home
No.
from work and drink
He goes-
a ton of water and like
No.
you're-
it goes
I'll
up,
like
yeah.
I'll have if I'm going to get coffee, I'll have like an iced black coffee,
Okay.
and then I'll do like a protein shake or something. Some mornings I haven't done this because usually it comes in streaks. I'll do like a smoothie. Like I'll like put together a smoothie,
But that's like
but like
food.
I haven't done that in a
That's
while.
more like food.
you fucking
Yeah,
bad
I guess.
boy, eh? No,
But
that's not food.
I don't
That's
know.
a drink.
You call that a drink?
That's a thick.
I like to kombucha a little bit sometimes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I like to
fuck
booch
that
it up a little
sometimes.
bit.
You like taking a little shot of like turmeric or something? You ever get one of those dose shots, like a
Bro, I was
well-being type thing?
obsessed with those for a little bit, and I feel like I gave myself a fucking ulcer
Yeah.
because I was just chugging like it's cayenne,
Yeah.
pepper, black
Yeah.
pepper,
Like
and
when it
fucking
hurts,
ginger.
right?
Lemon juice.
And I'm like,
It hurts.
That's like instant.
And I'm like,
pain.
oh, I'm
that.
fucking healthy. Or it's like, yo,
Yeah.
I haven't eaten since I skipped breakfast, and then then I go and take one, and I'm like, this thing's just sitting in my chest. It's killing me right now.
It's
So
burning the inside of your stomach.
But yeah, I fuck with those. I like them. I haven't had one in a bit, but like in a couple months. But if I see one, if I get my hands on one, I'm fucking taking it. I'm like an addict for them. Like I do like it because it makes me feel like
you accomplished something. Yeah, you're like, oh, my immune system's been boosted now.
Like,
I got extra.
Like I just crushed that. Ginger, I just changed my life. My stomach is completely settled now.
It's orange, like your stomach's orange on the inside. Yeah.
That's another thing with the turmeric. You get that shit all on you. It's like, well, now you're just orange now for the rest of your life. So
it's fucked up your whole. Get on a counter, forget it. You're on a counter.
What about a chopped cheese? Is chopped cheese a thing that you?
Yeah, this I feel like is the most New York thing talked about.
I do. Yeah, they love it. Well, you know what it is? I hate that shit about like New York. I mean, it's been perpetuated by the younger generation, but like I always thought it was so weird that when New York started to like appear on the internet, where it's like, that's New York. It's like, it's the chopped cheese, bacon, egg, and cheese, and like kids like hanging out in Times Square, but like telling people to suck their dick. You know what I mean? Like that is very New York, and like, and there's nothing like wrong with that, and like Timberland boots and shit like that. It is very New York, but I just thought that like. The internet was making fun of us for that, and then we're just doing it even more. And it's like, I don't know. It was just, is what it is. But a chopped cheese is very good. There's a place over here called Compton's that they have like a bunch of different sandwiches, and I became friends with the guys who own it, and it's fucking great. And like,
you put lettuce
chopped cheese, bro, it's like,
you put lettuce
sometimes, yeah. I mean, honestly, I'll just ask for it. If you could, some places make it differently than other places, it depending on, but like usually there is some like lettuce.
I'm sure I'll get roasted for this, but like, what's the difference between a chopped cheese and like a Philly cheesesteak? Like, I feel like that's probably sacrilege to say that even, but like, isn't it just?
I mean, I don't. There's not a gigantic.
I don't think there's a chopping.
There's no chopping.
Philly cheesesteak.
No,
there's no chopping going on.
Like the meat source is it's different type of meat. It's a different.
It's just like it's strips on like a Philly cheesesteak. I feel like, and this is just kind of like chopped meat. Like,
oh, okay.
You could take a Philly cheesesteak and make it a chopped cheese with like one move or two.
Oh, okay.
And I would back you.
Yeah.
You would be like, it's good. It counts.
Yeah. I'd be like, nah, it is a little different, but it is.
Okay.
It is very similar. But then you have that other dude too, who he's in Brooklyn, who now like. It's like, yo, make it the Aki.
Oh yeah.
Like puts like fucking Skittles in it, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, they always bring something like that. They're like, oh, I got a bag of Skittles and this box of ammunition. Can you make it into an egg sandwich?
Got some Cool Whip.
A box of ammunition. Yeah, exactly. That's crazy.
But it's funny, like just how you said that, how leaning into the caricature of a New Yorker. It's just been like, well, if that's gonna be us, let's fucking do it.
Yeah, they just did it. And like,
seriously.
It is funny that like New York, it's like there's an American accent and then there's a New York accent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like people are like, you New Yorkers sound this way, or like the rest of the country sounds like whatever. But like, I always thought that was funny. So I do like it, and it's funny. And like kids from New York, especially online, are like nuts. Like they're crazy, bro. They go to fucking Times Square and they just terrorize people. And like now with the internet and TikTok and whatever the fuck, like
you're allowed to shoot them apparently. If they're filming, you're allowed to shoot them like that guy did. Remember he shot that guy?
Oh yeah.
He shot that TikToker.
Not in New York though.
But he tried to like rob him or something. He was
like, he was like doing a weird bit. He had like a phone and he was like, oh, the phone's for you. The phone's for you.
Oh,
and the guy, I guess this dude looked at this human and thought he was like a pushover, I guess, and did this prank on him. But I saw that human's face and I was like, oh no, that's like
I do think, you fuck around and find out on the internet these days. If you're like walk around harassing people, like, I'm sorry, that's just that's on you, bro.
That was another thing. That was in New York too. There was those kids. I forget their names, but there was like twins. And they would do crazy shit. They would go and like fuck with people in like fucking Harlem, or they'd go, I don't even know. Like,
oh yeah, I remember. They would like step on their shoes and be like, bro, it's a prank.
And it's like, it's like, you guys are nuts, bro.
I think if you ever put someone into your video for a piece of content at all, like you have to give them $100 right off the bat. And even if they're like, yeah, I don't want to be in it. You bothered someone with your silly little fucking TikTok out there, don't do it. Although unless you pull up to a drive-through and you film you ordering at the drive-through, that's totally chill and normal, and I respect that, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. If you do that over the course of many years, and then
do you have like friends that you hang out with them and your New Yorker comes out more? You start 100%. To like, yeah. I have,
my friends from the neighborhood, like who I grew up with when I'm younger, like I hang out with some of them like regularly, but a lot of them I don't see that often. But like for instance, this weekend, one of our friends in the neighborhood's getting married. Like I'm going to see all of them, and like there's another party on Friday where I'll see like a different kids from the neighborhood, different party, like different whatever. So like, but when we're all around each other, it's like very different, you know? Like I feel like I could get caught.
You guys get hyped up.
What is this accent you doing? Frankie always makes fun of me because the first videos that I put on YouTube, which aren't there anymore because I deleted them, but like my accent is crazy, bro. My accent is wild. Like I don't even sound like me. Like it's like the most like dirty Queens accent ever, and I'm like. And he always makes sense like, yo, like that ass, like blah, blah. And I was like,
you're calling people.
I can't even watch this. Turn it off.
That's the worst thing, low key about the job. The worst thing is that your bad days or bad eras of humor or whatever it is exist forever online. And I'll go and I'll see like an interview or something I've done. I'll be like showering, enjoying life, just chilling. And then I'll think of like this random interview I did that has like 2,100 views from 8 years ago. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck. Like I thought it was chill, even what I'm wearing.
Wow.
I tell people all the time, like I'm like completely honest about this, obviously, but like the first video that I made was titled "A Talk About Sluts," and in the video, I'm trying, and I'm like describing the difference between what a slut is, what a hoe is, and what a whore is, and it's like the most misogynistic like
you're ahead of your time on that
ever.
One, by the way. That's like
and the craziest part about the entire thing is like, bro. Obviously, I'm trying to make people laugh. Like, obviously, I don't feel this way. And I'm putting it out, like, on Facebook or fucking Tumblr or whatever the fuck. And, like, girls are seeing it and are like, this is funny. You should make more videos. And it's like, and I just kept doing that. So there was, like, jokes, like, always kind of like, girls are like this, you know, like, and do this thing. And it's like... Dude, like the low-hanging fruit of like jokes that you can make about women at that age when I was like fucking 19 years old. It's like I did that.
And you're like, they want it.
Bad.
They want it.
Yeah. They like it. It's a fucking joke. Just laugh. Smile more, would you? Jesus.
Were you directly inspired by any, like, were there certain YouTube channels you followed or like creators like back in the day that got you to be like, oh, I want to make videos online? Or was it just like, you just were like, nah, I'm just gonna
at the time, the only person who was really, to my knowledge, because I didn't really, even when I was like really heavily into, you know, YouTube, I didn't really watch anybody or like try to, I don't listen to podcasts now. I don't really watch YouTube videos or anything. Like I don't really.
You don't engage with the platforms. You know, making your own content.
Yeah, not really. So back then though, I do like Jenna Marbles was like the one who was like the most popular, and she's like talking to the camera and like making jokes and stuff. So I was like, okay, I can do something like that. And honestly, at that point, I was just really out for like, I was just excited to be on camera and like getting the attention. So like, I'll just do whatever. So like that was like, oh, I could like make jokes and I'll just whatever. And I didn't write jokes. I just turned the camera on and started talking. And like, it was ridiculous. And then I would figure out how to edit that. And then I remember at a certain point, Jimmy Tatro was another one where I was like, this dude's good. Yeah. Like I love his videos.
Great, solid guy.
And I don't think I've ever met him, but like I feel like we've talked through the internet before, but I've never met him. But like he was one of the first ones too, where I was like, okay, this dude I like, because everyone that I would watch that would do YouTube, it was always like Owl City's playing in the background. They're like, look at the 10 things in my room. Like, look at this, look at that. And it's like,
they're like,
who's watching this?
Today's my day, guys. Here's what I'm eating. I'm gay. And like, that's And then you saw Jim, you're like, let's get some fucking straight dudes out here. Jimmy's straight as hell.
He was also doing like sketch comedy, and I was like, this looks really good. Like it looked like he like was investing, and I'm sure like he eventually stopped doing this. It's like I'm spending all this fucking money for no reason, basically. Like the kickback is not worth what it is. But he's like a really talented dude. So I was able to kind of see that and be like, oh wow, that's really cool. So
we're big.
Yeah, I
big
think those two
Real Bros of Simi Valley.
Yeah.
We're like that.
Yeah, that shit was fucking
and we filmed with him, and he's just solid. Like he was just solid, showed up.
Yeah, I have a pretty similar relationship with him as with you, like where it's, we've met a handful of times, I'll hit him up. I watched a movie he was in recently, and the movie was, the movie overall was fine, but like he fucking ate no crumbs, left no crumbs. He's a funny guy. But it's interesting because I like, to what you're saying, there wasn't a lot of inspiration for me on YouTube that I was like, oh, this is it. But people would come out sometimes, and someone like, let's say like Jimmy, or like someone like Cody Co. And sometimes I would meet people, Jenna Marbles, like I'd meet people and their only knowledge of me was Epic Mealtime. And they would think I'm that guy. Mm-hmm. And I'd speak to someone maybe briefly and I'd walk away and I'd be like, oh shit, yeah, they think I'm literally the sauce boss. They think that I'm like, let's get some Jack Daniels and I'll suck your dick and put bacon in your ass. Like they think like that's what it is. You know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of exposure, but when you're watching something like your videos, you kind of like get that like, oh, you said like people, you haven't had a weird interaction in like 6 years or whatever. People, they're like, oh yeah, Joe, he's a chill guy. He's a regular guy.
Yeah.
My videos when I was doing Epic Mealtime, people would come up like behind me and grab me and be like, let's get a drink, fucker. I love you. And you're like, haha, okay. And it's like, you know what I mean? It's the energy that you gave out and what you got back. And yeah, some people like they had that regular chill energy. All the people we're talking about, none of them, I'm sure, like are thought of themselves like YouTubers in the same way that Jake or Logan does,
Yeah, I mean, those dudes are fucking crazy. Like the shit that they're doing is like wild. But like that, I think that you have to be like sick in order to like be Jake and Logan, honestly. Like in a good way almost. Like I would never be able, like I would eventually get to a point, like especially Logan, where I'm like, I'm fucking kind of done.
Yeah.
Like,
but he's very happy. Yeah. No, I've said this many times and used him as an example. He will run for president. He will run for president.
Like, if Mr. Beast doesn't, he will. Which, like, Logan.
Who are you voting for,
like
Mr.
crazy,
Beast or Logan? That they're both running for president. Who are you voting for?
I have no idea, but like, that would happen in this country. But like Logan, I remember tweeting something out when it was announced that he was fighting Floyd Mayweather, and I'm like, guys, like, I know that like it's fun to be like, fuck this dude, and like if even I don't know him, so like maybe he's a bad guy or whatever, but like, can we not appreciate that this is crazy what he's doing? Like this is wild.
The wrestling stuff's also crazy. All the wrestling is
insanely
impressive.
Clip,
you're like, okay, like you can't even hate. Like this is insane. Like this is like
you can't. Yes.
Yeah, but like
he's taking that power away from anyone from hating on him. It's like,
yeah,
dude,
but like
that's incredible.
It is commendable, that level of, to be able to do something like that. I mean,
but who are you gonna fight, Joe?
Gotta be sick.
Like, who would you box? Like any YouTubers out there you want?
Yeah, I see. This is the thing. Like, I don't like. I can't. I just don't have like the interest in that. Yeah. Like, I like boxing, but
ring. I got punched out of the ring, dude. Don't do it, man.
That's tough.
First time ever, yeah.
But like, yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't feel like.
And they wouldn't be like, hey, they want to ask you if you want to box.
Kind of need your brain.
You'd be like, hey, Joe, you wanna? We gotta.
No, never. No one.
You
no one's ever been like, yo, you want to box? Like, no one's ever said that. It's good.
Yeah, it's important. I feel really. Like your brain to your life, and you don't like. Yeah, and I think about Logan, how he was in WrestleMania and boxing Floyd Mayweather and doing all these things, and I just know that he will run for president, and if Mr. Beast loses to him, because Mr. Beast's whole campaign was he wanted to rearm every country in the Middle East. equally, and so he lost a lot of votes there. And then so Logan, who really pushed forward gay rights, a lot of people, he ended up winning in this alternate reality. He would be in the office, in the Oval Office, which is a square now. He made it a square because he's a fucking maverick. And he would be like, what do I do now? And that's a realistic scenario that could actually happen, is that Logan Paul could be the most powerful man in the world. This whole sentence sounds ridiculous. And he'll be like, this isn't enough.
He's got to be the prime minister of Canada.
That's a nightmare to me, because I'm
taking Canada next. I'm going to be the prime minister there and president same time. Dual.
No one, you're not. That's
multiple. He's like, I got both on lock right now.
It's like the double champ. He's like Connor. He's got all of North America. He's like, I am running Mexico, U.S., and Canada.
I'm expanding my power.
Like, if every country had a belt, and like when there's huge UN meetings, they all have their belt like on them. And like, yeah, exactly. They all have entrances.
So,
yeah.
I think that's honestly just flags in the Star Spangled Banner and shit. So that might exist actually.
Right? Yeah, you're right.
Oh man.
But Mr. Beast is like someone as well who takes things to the next level. And I look at that and I'm like, I think that's so awesome to get 100 million views on a video this week. But I don't want to spend $2.5 million and make the Squid Game YouTube video. Like, I'm happy I'm not sitting there and editing the like a $3 million YouTube video where I have all these YouTubers playing hide and seek in a stadium, and like every single cut or decision it's just I'm just like I want to find a place. There's a place somewhere.
Well, would you cut?
It's not where Jake and
would you put Roseanne? Would you cut Roseanne out of the top 3 if you were Mr. Beast? Was that a good call?
I don't want to talk. I already spoke about 9/11 in the Middle East. I don't want to talk about all.
You don't want to get into that?
Like,
so you're
no.
All right, you're gonna remain silent on that one. I get it. All right,
Joe, what do you got? You got anything to push out here? Thanks for coming on. By the way, you got anything? Should we grab your sauce at Walmart?
Oh, you can go get the sauce at Walmart, or you can order it on theheatiness.com. The podcast is The Basement Yard. And that's pretty much it, We have some news coming for The Basement Yard. I can't announce right now, but there's some stuff happening.
That's cool. You wanted to annoy my audience with like...
yeah.
Hell yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming on, by the way. Guys, check out Joe. Ladies, check him out on Instagram. Go fucking slide in that. He's a bad boy. I'll tell you right now, he's a bad boy. Hey. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Thanks, brother. All right, dudes.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.